In this video, we're going to go over reciprocal trigonometric function, and I wrote a little note that reciprocal means flip. So let's go over the three trig function that we went in the previous section. Sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. Now we're going to go over three more functions, and they are known as the reciprocal trigonometric functions. So the first one, with sine, the reciprocal of it is called cosecant. So I'm going to write right here. Cosecant is just CSC, which basically equal the fraction as flip. So I'm going to flip this fraction. So cosecant will equal to hypotenuse over opposite. So you see how sine is opposite over hypotenuse. For cosecant, I just flip the fraction and get hypotenuse over opposite. For cosine, the reciprocal function is called secant, which is SEC. So SEC, secant, all I'm going to do is do the reciprocal, meaning flip the fraction, so it's going to equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. Last, the reciprocal for tangent is called cotangent, C-O-T. So again, the reciprocal for tangent is called cotangent, C-O-T. And it equal to the reciprocal, so that means I'm going to flip the fraction, it will be adjacent over opposite. So, if you remember the definition for sine, cosine, and tangent, now all you have to remember is if you're going to do the reciprocal for sine, it's called cosecant, CSC, which is hypotenuse over opposite, or flip the fraction for cosecant. If you're doing the reciprocal of cosine, as long as you remember cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, the reciprocal is secant, S-E-C, and then I'm just going to flip the fraction to get hypotenuse over adjacent. If you know tangent, which is opposite over adjacent, if you're doing the reciprocal, it's called cotangent, C-O-T, and I'm going to flip the fraction to get the definition adjacent over opposite. So these are the definition for cosecant, C-S-C, secant, S-E-C, and cotangent, C-O-T. So if you don't going to remember them, just remember these three, the main ones. SOHCAHTOA, flip the fraction to get the reciprocal. Just remember, sine, the reciprocal is cosecant, CSC. For cosine, the reciprocal is SEC. And then for tangent, the reciprocal is cotangent, COT. Now we're going to do some example using these reciprocal function. Now given this first example, we have this triangle, this right angle triangle with side 5, 12, and 13, and given angle theta. So when you're given a triangle, first thing to do is identify the hypotenuse, which is always across from the right angle. So this will be the hypotenuse. Now here, my angle theta. So what's across from angle theta, so right here, what's across or opposite, which is the 5, that's going to be my opposite side. And then what's next to the angle theta, my 12, that's going to be adjacent. So labeling is going to be the same process as before. So my 5 is the opposite according to angle theta, and my 12 is adjacent because it's next to angle theta. My 13 is a hypotenuse because it's opposite across from the right angle. Alright, now we're going to do the reciprocal trig function, and I wrote out the definition. So using this triangle, first we're going to do cosecant. CSC, which is hypotenuse over opposite. So hypotenuse would be 13 on the top, and then my opposite, which is 5, would be on the bottom. Alright, next we're going to do secant, SEC. So according to the definition, hypotenuse on the top, so 13 will be on the top. Adjacent is on the bottom, so 12 will be my adjacent, which is going to be at the bottom. Now we're going to do cotangent, which is adjacent over opposite. So on the top, my adjacent, which is 12. On the bottom, which is opposite, that is 5. So here's our trigonometric ratio of values for cosecant, which is 13 over 5. Secant, 13 over 12, cotangent, 12 over 5. So that's all you have to do by following the definition of cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Now, if you're not going to remember the definition, then just write out the definition for sine, cosine, and tangent, then do the reciprocal for each. Remember, the reciprocal of sine, cosecant. The reciprocal of cosine, secant. The reciprocal of tangent, cotangent. In our second example, we have another given triangle with sides 7, 24, 25, right angle, and angle theta. So with a given triangle, we should always identify our hypotenuse. What's across opposite of right angle is the hypotenuse. So my 25, that would be the hypotenuse. Now according to angle theta, what's across from it, opposite, the 24, that would be the opposite side. What's next to angle theta, the 7, that would be adjacent. So to review with this triangle, across from the right angle, 25, hypotenuse. Across from angle theta, 24, opposite. What's next to the angle theta, 7, that's adjacent. Alright, so now we're going to do the reciprocal ratio by following these definitions. So, cosecant, CSC, hypotenuse is on the top, so 25 will be on the top. My opposite will be at the bottom, which is 24. Next is secant. What's on the top is my hypotenuse, so 25 again. What's on the bottom is adjacent, which is 7, so 7 is going on the bottom. Last, we're going to do cotangent, COT. What's on the top is adjacent, which is 7, so 7 on the top. What's on the bottom is opposite, so 24 will go on the bottom. So that's all we have to do. So cosecant, CSC, is 25 over 24. Secant, SEC, is equal to 25 over 7. And then cotangent, COT, is equal to 7 over 24. So that's all we have to do for the reciprocal trigonometric function. Just like before, when you did sine, cosine, and tangent, label your sides and then just follow the definition carefully. If you can simplify the fraction, do so. So again, let me repeat, if you can simplify the fraction, you must simplify to its final answer.